This is the plaintiff, David Melendez. He says the defendant, his first cousin, stole his hot dog cart, claims he lost it, and now he's out of business. He doesn't know what kind of scam the defendant's trying to pull, but he needs to pay him the $3,700 he needs to buy another cart so he can go out and make a living and feed his family. This is the defendant, Eddie Melendez. He says his cousin needed to bail his girlfriend out of jail and borrowed $500 from him. The plaintiff gave him the hot dog cart as collateral. About a year went by, and the plaintiff told him he lost his money gambling, couldn't pay back the $500, and to just sell the cart. If anyone here's owed money today, it's not the plaintiff, it's him. He's accused of being a real wiener. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $1,000 for interest on the loan.
All parties, please use your right hand. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
Welcome,
David Melendez, you are suing your cousin Eddie Melendez for $3,700 that you say you are out as a result of him selling a hot dog cart you had given him to hold on to as collateral. You have a counterclaim against him for $1,000 because, according to you, you're still owed money and interest. All right, let me hear from you.
All right. First of all, I had a hot dog cart for sale.
When was it for sale?
It was in December of 2015.
For how much?
For $3,500.
Do you have any evidence that you were trying to sell it for $3,500? Like, did you put it in Craigslist? Did you put up an ad somewhere?
No, before I had time to do that, I was told by my sister that he was interested in it.
Okay.
So I didn't do that.
Okay.
Come to find out, he didn't have enough money for it.
Okay.
So he asked, can he work it for the season and give me $500 for it, just to work it for a season. I needed the $500, so I did that.
When did you do that?
It was in December.
So what was the season?
Meaning the ice cream season. Like, I work ice cream also.
Okay, what's the ice cream season? To me, that's like all year, but what's it?
It's from April to October.
Okay.
And he didn't have enough money to buy it, so I was willing to lend him the cart so he could make money. It's my cousin. Like, you know what I mean? I thought everything was fine.
Did you have anything in writing with him?
No. It was a verbal contract, and she was the witness here.
So your testimony today is that you rented the cart out to him?
Yes.
Because that's not even what your complaint says. In the complaint, you say you needed $500 to pay somebody's bail.
Yeah.
And so he loaned you the $500.
Yeah,
but that he said he wanted collateral, and that the hot dog cart was collateral, that you rented it to him.
I was trying to sell it at first.
Okay, you're just repeating yourself now. What are you going to tell me about this discrepancy that I just pointed out in your own complaint?
Well,
that you needed $500 for somebody's bail.
Yes.
And so he loaned you the money, but then he said, all right, but how do I know you're going to pay me back? Give me collateral. And then he tells you to give him the hot dog cart as collateral.
That was the second agreement. The collateral was the second agreement.
When did the first agreement end?
When he didn't have enough money to buy it.
So how much did he pay you for the first agreement?
He lent me $500.
I thought that was the second agreement.
Well, you confusing me. I'm
not trying to. I'm trying to understand.
Okay.
In the first agreement, how much money went from who to who?
Oh, no money. No money at all.
So the first agreement was what then? That's not what agreement was there?
There was no first agreement.
So there's only one agreement?
One agreement, yes.
All right. And was the agreement, as you said in your complaint, that you needed $500 to pay somebody's bail, he loaned it to you, and the cart was collateral?
Yes.
Or is it like you testified under oath now, which is that he wanted to rent it from you for $500? Which is it?
It was the second one.
The renting of it.
The renting cart, yeah.
So then why did you file a complaint that says that he kept it as collateral on a loan?
Well,
because that happens to be exactly what you say, right?
Correct.
Okay, that you loaned him $500, and that as collateral he gave you the cart.
Right.
All right. When did you loan him the $500?
It was on May something of 2015. My cousin David came to me saying that he needed money to bail his wife out. I said, I'm not going to do that because you have a history of not paying back. So then he called me back a few weeks later, told me, okay, listen, I'm gonna do this for you. I have a hot dog cart, and I give that to you for $500. I said, okay, then that's better.
I give it to you for $500.
I mean, I'm gonna give me the money, you know, or let you know, I'm saying, lend you the money for $500, which I did. If as collateral, if you give me back the money,
so
you get
collateral.
back the car. Yeah.
All right. So
yeah.
you tell him, give me the card as collateral, and then when was he supposed to pay you back?
I gave him time, like 3 months. I told him, listen, when you pay me back as soon as possible, and he said, okay, as soon as I get the money, I will give it back to you, and you give back the card, that was the agreement.
Okay.
Now, days went by, week went by, month went by.
Well, what was it? Did you have a deadline with him, like where he had to pay you by X time?
No.
I have reached.
So when did you think you had to pay him back?
After the ice cream season. Because I couldn't be in 2 places at one time. I can't sell hot dogs and ice cream. So it was just after the ice cream season.
That's when you were supposed to pay him back?
Yes.
Aren't you making money during the ice cream season?
Yes, I am.
In fact, you guys went gambling together.
No. What happened was that he took me on a joyride. I said, come with me to the gamble spot. You know, I'm winning. He was up many money. I said, okay, so now you got so much money. Can I get my money? Later. He lost it. So my thing is,
It happened.
All right, so when do you finally say, I'm going to sell this thing if you don't pay me back?
Okay, this came up about when my next door neighbor told me that if he would do me a favor to sell a car for me, and he would pay it. I spoke to him, telling him that if you're okay with the neighbor doing it. He said, yes, go ahead.
No.
Do you have that in writing, that he agreed for you to sell it?
No, we were only verbal, like talking on the phone.
He denies that he ever said that to you. He says you're lying.
There was nothing, like I said, there was nothing written.
How about a text?
There was there was a text that I gave his sister.
Saying what?
I told her on June 27, 2015, that she told me to take the post down because I had a post up to sell it. After I told him I was going to sell it, but she told me take it down. And he's working on getting the money, which is on, you know.
You know, if you rented it out, how is it that you would be working on getting any money, friend?
He never rented it out.
Of course he didn't. Of course he didn't. But if you come in here and under oath you tell me, I rented it to him, which is a better story, because that way then when the season was over, he has to give it back to you.
Yeah.
Right, that's a good one, except for it's not the truth. Because why would your sister be texting him that you're working on getting the money together to pay him back?
Yeah, that was the initial agreement. I was going to pay him back after the ice cream season.
What for, if he's renting it?
After the season. He's renting it for a season.
What's he paying to rent it? You know what rent means, right?
Yeah, he was going to give me $500.
And then why would you have to pay him back?
I don't have to pay him back the $500. He has to give me back my cart.
Well, then why is your sister texting him that you're working on getting the money together? What money?
The $500 for the cart. Okay, listen, you're right. You're absolutely right. He was renting it. But this is my cousin.
I say he wasn't renting it.
I needed the money.
All right, so according to you, what happened to the cart?
So I gave the guy to do me the favor to sell it for me. He tried his best. So he sold it for me, but he only gave me back $200.
200?
Yeah, he only gave me
$3,500
between me.
Well, I don't know that it's a $3,500 cart. When did you buy it for $3,500?
I bought it for $2,500 and put a hitch on it.
Okay, can I see proof that you paid $2,500 for it?
I have this here.
Is that proof you paid $2,500? No, I don't want you to just pull things off the internet from really nice carts. I know that nice carts cost a lot of money.
Okay.
I want to know about your cart. Okay, so do you have proof of what you paid for your cart?
I don't have proof of what I paid for my cart, but I have a picture of my cart.
Yeah, let's see. So, why would you let him sell it for so little? And how much did he sell for? How much did he sell it for?
He sold it for me for $500.
He sold it for $500.
$500.
And then he only gave you $200?
Right.
Why?
Well, I tried to tell him to, the thing was...
How is his commission more than your profit?
No,
what's wrong with you? You're either lying...
No, the thing is because I was also paying a storage fee.
To who?
To my neighbor, and I was telling David...
You weren't paying storage... Oh my God, it runs in the Melendez family. You weren't paying storage fee to your neighbor who was selling the thing. You weren't storing it there. He was selling it for you. So you didn't pay him storage fees. That didn't happen. That's completely unbelievable. I'm so personally offended that either one of you thought I would buy either of these versions, because I feel like you can't possibly have watched the People's Court before today. So when this happens, when you sell it, it looks nice. Where are you parked here?
I'm on, I don't remember, that picture's old.
Right, I want to make sure it's yours, because I know where you parked. Where you parked
I
here?
have no idea. We usually change spots.
Okay, so go on.
Well, we were supposed to have a written agreement,
You hand this to the...
but he said we're cousins.
Yeah, well, that's stupid, because if you ever want a written agreement, it's going to be when you're cousins, because that's the relationship you don't want to have go sour. Is that the cart?
No.
Do you have a picture of the cart?
No, I don't.
That is the car, Eddie.
No, it's not.
Yeah, yeah.
How is it different?
The way he gave it to me, it was like garbage. It was like
No, how is it
was
different?
dirty.
Describe
He
how
that-
it's different.
Because that wasn't there. There was no umbrella. There was no. The park pine was inside, and everything was a mess. So that's not the cart.
Eddie, you get an umbrella from the depot, Eddie.
That's not the point. So you're suing for $3,700, $200 for new tires. You have any evidence that it had new tires?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
All righty. So you're suing him for $300 of the remaining balance of the $500, plus $700 interest. How do you figure?
Because, man, like I said before, I've been reaching him to get the money.
No, but how do
So
you
that
come up with
means-
$700 in interest on $500?
No, I mean, you have to do the math here. I mean,
No, you
how
have to
many
do the
times-
math.
I mean,
Because when
I'm
I do
doing
the
them-
math,
No,
I don't
I'm
come
saying
up with
to
100
myself-
and something percent of interest. That's the problem. So that's why I'm asking you. How did you come up with $700? Just pulled it out of the sky?
Yeah. that's
Okay.
I also have threats here.
Courts and recess. What?
Threats. That he threatened me
Let
to
me
my
see 'em.
daughter.
Does anybody have text back and forth about the transaction?
No.
Okay, this is like completely infantile. It's him talking to your daughter, and he's not threatening you. He said, I want you to know that I love you and I won't never hurt you. But your dad, yes, I don't like him. What? Are you crazy? You don't like him, so you're going to hurt my dad? Really? I love you too, but please think before you speak. No, you don't know what he said to me. He started saying bad thing about me. No one should take family to court, or by him saying that, I don't like him or love him. That's it? That's the threat you're talking about? Come on,
No,
man.
ma'am.
Courts and recess.
All rise.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. You know, I mean, this is kind of a situation where you loan somebody money, they don't pay you back, and then all of a sudden you find out they had money to burn. Who's been in that situation? Tell me about it.
There's a guy, an ex-neighbor owed me a bunch of money, and then he bought a truck after that.
Did you kill him or something?
No.
I'm just curious. Okay, what do you say?
I think they should pay you back, but I would be frustrated if they didn't.
Would you end a friendship over that?
I would probably end a friendship.
What do you say? It ever happened to you?
Well, with gum, I've loaned $1 to someone. She never paid me back, and the other day she came with a box of gum. And that really made me very
Or just
angry.
piss me off beyond words. Oh, going inside the courtroom.
I was on the internet looking at used carts, and they go from any range to any range. You bring me a picture of what you say was your cart. It has a Sabret's umbrella. You say, oh, you can get an umbrella anywhere at Home Depot, which basically means you're acknowledging that whatever you gave him didn't have that. And I was already suspicious. When each of you come to court, you're each coming to court and saying, believe me, Judge, he owes me money. But I look at you, and I don't believe you. And you've got your case against him, where you have clearly committed perjury in my courtroom when you tell me that you were renting it to him, that the $500 was rent. You yourself admit that you were trying to get the money to pay him back, so it wasn't rent, it was a loan. But you have the burden of proof on your counterclaim against him. When you say, he owes me $1,000 because I pulled $700 out of my hat, and I sold the cart for $500 but gave the guy $300 for storage fees. I don't believe what you say either. So on your lawsuit against him, 0, because you have failed to meet your burden of proof. And on your lawsuit against him, also 0, because you have failed to meet your burden of proof. Okay? This case, from a legal standpoint, is over. Walk away. The next time you discuss it, you can be at a family reunion, and you guys can both duke it out there and try to figure out who was right and who was more wrong about how they handled the other one. But this is where we end up, isn't it? This is why, especially when we're doing business with family, we want it in writing. And if you're not man enough to ask your cousin to sign something in writing, then make sure it appears on text back and forth so that you're able to prove what the agreement was, so there's no discussion later and no hurt feelings. But no matter what, you've ended up causing a lot of other people around you a lot of suffering. Over $500.
3,500.
Maybe and maybe not. And by the way, you're awfully indignant for a guy who was gambling, was up a bunch of money and could have paid off a loan and didn't. This all happened because you didn't pay the money. You know that, right? Because you're awful angry about it for somebody who in front of him was making money and then didn't bother to pay even $1 of it back. 0 and 0.
So in this pair of suits between cousins, nobody wins. It's a 0-0 tie. David, how do you feel about this?
A little upset, but...
Well, what do you think about what the judge had to say to you about it? Didn't sign any kind of agreement about you winning all kinds of money gambling, you wouldn't pay him back? She had a lot to say to you.
Nothing I can say. Thank you.
Nothing to say? No. All right. Will you still get along with him?
Yeah, it's my family.
Okay, all right. You sue him, but you'll get along with him. Let's see if he'll get along with you. Eddie, come out here. Will you still get along with him?
No,
even though you just sued him and lost?
No love for him.
You're not?
I got no love for him.
No love left?
No. After what happened, no. It shouldn't be like this. No family should have been in court. So, but he did it. I got nothing to
You're absolutely right. Well, you got some good advice from the judge, okay?
Yeah.
You may sign some documents. That's a good lesson for everybody in this case. Don't you agree, Harvey?
Okay, Doug, look, it is even more important when you're dealing with family to get things in writing to preserve relationships.